role in STEAM education is major. Emphasize Africa's rich history of contributions to science and technology, from ancient Egypt's advancements in mathematics to modern day innovations in, what is this, in science, medicine, science and medicine, engineering, and then to discuss current efforts in Africa to promote STEAM education across the board, such as coding schools, science initiatives aimed at empowering the next generation of innovators. So learning activities, hey, assign students to research an African STEAM innovator. There's something wrong. I'm sorry. I sound a little crazy because my internet is flipping, but my signal is going a little nuts. So resources and benefits, right? What are the resources that are necessary and what are the benefits? Materials provide, receive all necessary resources for courses, including electronics, robots, laptops, and a tech for lesson. I can't see. Something is wrong with my internet, Miss Sally. Please take over. Let me see if I can sign out and sign back in, and I apologize. Something is going on.
It's okay. And actually, I'll quickly brush through again. You'll find me along the way.
Okay. Thank you.
Yes. Yes. So as we wait, Miss Paula, I hope we have people watching who have joined us from Facebook. We're streaming on Facebook, on LinkedIn, and YouTube. Please say hello and tell us which part of the world you could be in. So this is one of the many boot camps that we do, where we engage learners as we get them to discover what is their talent, what is their God-given gift, what can we nurture, how can we help them get to know what their talent is. And of course, this gets very critical as we look into preparing our children for a world that they're not very sure of. Sorry, Miss Paula.
I apologize. I don't know what's going on, but my signal is kind of moving back and forth. Go ahead, Miss Sally.
No, I just realized we were not streaming on some of the services. We were not streaming on Facebook and most of our clients on Facebook. So I just restarted because we still have like 15 minutes. Then we can quickly go through it. Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to start all over again. Am I hearing you correctly?
Yes. I hope you don't mind that.
No, I don't mind at all. Actually, I wish I had.
So, Ms. Paula, you've been very passionate about STEAM education. Could you a little bit tell us why and why you think this is important for us to expose our children, especially within the continent, on these subjects or this pace of STEAM education?
Absolutely. One of the reasons I'm passionate about it is one major thing is the demographics of the continent of Africa. Over 60% of the people of the continent of Africa are all age 35 and younger. Right now, there's a demographic crash in the developing nations. What does that mean? It means that the employees and the leaders of tomorrow are mostly going to come from Africa. So the opportunity for our children is going to be critical that we position them to take advantage of the opportunities in STEAM professions and STEAM industries across the board. And this is why I think this program is so critical, why it's so important, it's so vital in preparing them for those positions and those opportunities. I hope that answered your question, Miss Sally.
Yes, pretty well. Thank you very much. Ms. Paula, when you were coming up with this program, you were very persistent on us being able to add a lot of many other activities where you always insist on all day work with no play makes Jack a dull boy. So as for the listeners who are keen to join, keen to sponsor some children who could join this bootcamp, what other activities are going to be there and why should we have those activities?
Well, all the activities, including archery, paintball, all the fun things, because to answer your question directly is because learning should be fun across the board. And our children are prone to learning. This is the way that our children learn. Children learn to do by doing. So the knowledge, the skill sets that they're going to pick up all happens through doing, and doing it in a fun manner. So some of those things, like I said before, archery, paintball, team building, um, and even with the closing party, it's all about igniting their creativity in a way that they can actually learn and retain the information and the knowledge, and that they can begin to apply that even in their own lives as children. And you can see in past boot camps, go ahead, I'm sorry.
No, I was just adding that sometimes kids come to our boot camps with their main intention, or the driving force, the encouragement is having fun. And maybe the modern education, why we're looking into integrating learning with fun, because today's kids are not like us.
No, they're
Right?
not. That is correct. I see my granddaughter, I teased her the other day. I said, "Wow, you've become quite a hacker," because the way she interacts with technology is far beyond anything I could have imagined. When we were growing up, we didn't even have the internet. Imagine that. So,
Yeah.
to give our children not just a fighting chance, but a winning chance, this kind of programming is absolutely necessary for them.
So you packaged it and you looked into children being able to go through coding, robotics, and obviously there's this misconception that's going on that coding might become irrelevant with AI. What do you say to that, and why are we still taking our children through coding and robotics? Is it necessary?
It is absolutely necessary. Coding is still an integral part of even machine learning, right? So machines cannot learn without coding, without direction. Machines can follow direction and prompts. And even as AI evolves, coding is still going to be a critical part of that process. That is not going to go away. So it's necessary that it is vital that our children are prepared for that, and they can actually interact with that and win at that in those industries.
So I was going through the course that you created. Thank you, Miss Paula. I was going through the course that you created on artificial intelligence, and I was wondering how you were able to tailor make it to suit, to break down the concepts to an extent that a 5-year-old, a 7-year-old can understand. Can you please take us through day two on and what the kids are expecting to cover on AI?
Well, the first thing that they're going to be covering is the fundamentals of AI, right? So, what is artificial intelligence? How does it work? How do we use this, right? So it includes machine learning, deep learning, and computer vision. That's a critical piece. You cannot interact with anything unless you understand how it works, and then you find ways where the role that you can play in further developing that technology or interacting with it. So designing and implementing AI tools. How do you learn to design and implement basic AI tools using visuals, programming languages, and pre-trained models? The third one is the practical application of AI, right? How do you use it? What are you going to use it for? How do you apply it? Right? So you can, in this training, the children are going to discover how AI is used in everyday life, from personalized recommendations to medical diagnosis and self-driving cars. That's a reality, people. That is a reality. And then four, how do you use it in your everyday life? Understanding the impact of AI on society and how it is shaping the future of various industries and how it is shaping the lives of the children, because that's also important. All right. I hope that
Absolutely.
answers the question.
It does. It does. And it's interesting where sometimes we think that this space is for an older generation. Yet I think we need to constantly appreciate that when kids are young, their brain is so easy to absorb. It's a sponge. So
That's true.
yes, Miss Paula, as you created this bootcamp, you had a specific reason, and you were looking into why should parents want to enroll the children to this camp.
It is really to give their children the opportunity to grow and to interact with what we call industries of the future are really industries of today, right?
Yeah.
So it's critical that we place our children in a position to develop the skills necessary to be able to be successful in their professional lives, as well as their private life to a certain extent, you know?
Yeah.
So some of the things that we look at is hands-on learning. It's critical. Like I said before, children learn to do by doing, and to have the experts guiding that knowledge, how they're acquiring that knowledge, how do they interact with the information. And then to create an innovative learning environment is equally critical because it has to nurture the development of the child as they're learning. And then the other way is the transformative experience. That's really the key. That's the linchpin because children don't forget what they learn when they have fun learning.
Absolutely. What we learn with pleasure, we don't forget. Maybe this applies to adults as well.
Yes, it does, in fact, because this is also the model that's now being used for adult learning as well. So,
So, mhm.
go ahead.
Yes, Miss Paula, I've seen you being very, very particular as an expert of creating courses in global development issues, looking at the economy, and much more the well-being of children. And constantly you say we need to nurture leadership skills and have an impact and reinforce it when kids are still young. Could you explain some more on why you package 3D printing? And I know you are looking into getting a lot of soft skills impacted in children, because I understand that's what Skill Fire provides. Please take us through that.
Well, and to answer your question, right? You asked about why 3D printing. Well, 3D printing is the present. Right now in some developed nations, 3D printing is being used for things like actual building to build materials, manufacturing. So 3D printing is going to be vital going into the future. And the Skills Fire Challenge really helps to drive this learning model home, right? The basics of 3D printing technology. What is it? How do you interact with it? How does it work? Designing and printing 3D objects, right? So it runs the gamut from small objects that used to be manufactured can be 3D printed to large objects like buildings. Skill Fire Challenge problem solving really enables the children to build on those skills that are necessary as teamwork, to build inside of a team. How do you build gadgets? How do you solve problems, real world problems? And how do you integrate the skills, all both soft and hard skills, inside of these environments? Right. So skills
Yeah.
development ultimately is the objective here, right? To get them to develop these skills while they're young and they're malleable and they're in their development phases, and it becomes a natural part of their learning process. I hope that answers the question.
It does extremely well. It actually concerns me when you look at issues of emotional intelligence, you look at the high level of unemployment, which to me, I relate it to a lot of lack of soft skills. Because when I think about entrepreneurs, most of them, entrepreneurs are out to solve problems. And entrepreneurship is first you come across a problem, then you're coming up with solutions for that problem. So I think it's a skill that's very powerful. Let me just do a shout out to Karen. I see Karen, I see Kusiame, I see quite a number of our parents on Facebook and others who have joined us from YouTube and LinkedIn. Please tell us, put your questions across, tell us where you're joining us from and what more you'd like to learn. Miss Paula?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, sorry, we're just trying to mute you. There's some noise in the background. I wanted to read out the very nice comment we have from Karen, who says this should be incorporated in all primary school education curriculum alongside spoken language acquisition. What is your response to Karen, Miss Paula?
We absolutely agree with you. And that's the whole purpose and the impetus for this program, is to be able to provide an environment for our children that is holistic, that is healthy, that's innovative, and it actually prepares them for the real world. These skills are not just something that you get on a playground. These are very, very marketable skills. And the earlier we get our children involved in this kind of environment, this kind of team building and and thinking and problem solving mechanism, the more effective they become as employees down the line, and even as business owners and leadership in industries, right? So this is the reason why on day 5 with the competition and the STEAM Week celebration, we finalized projects and preparations. That's what they've created through the team process, presenting innovation to the judges. What is the project, right? And then using fun activities and team building. That is the mechanisms, right? And then ultimately a party of celebration for the children, because self-esteem is also important, right? And being rewarded and for your hard work is also critical in that process.
Thank you. Thank you, Miss Paula. You're extremely panoptic. Please take us through that. Why this?
Well, and again, for major reasons, and the first reason is really because we have a continent. We have a continent of young people, and we have millions of other people outside of the continent that can contribute to the development of that continent and the young people. And so industrialization is the key to any sustainable development for any nation, for any nation's development. It's key. The key component of that is industrialization. In this case, it's going to be led by STEAM education and STEAM industries. So the introduction to industrialization is a major part of this. We couldn't do this successfully without inculcating introduction of industrialization to the children. What is industrialization? How does it work? Right? And then its connection with STEAM. How do you build things? How do you use science to build things, to produce things, to solve problems, both in terms of the products that's being developed and it's necessary for the development of a nation, but also in the services that are necessary, right? So the learning activity really is the culmination of all three. Create a simple mode of demonstration, of demonstrating an industrial process. This is what the children begin to learn in a fun way, such as wind turbine or basic assembly line. This will help students understand the practical applications of STEAM and industrialization. So it brings the knowledge home to them in a fun and learning environment.
Absolutely. I love that. I don't know why I'm getting an echo. So please take us through the African innovator in the figures.
Well, so we have models of people that have already done this when there was not the internet, when AI did not exist like it exists today. And a lot of those figures that really contributed to the development of like NASA and the space program in the United States, for instance, and in fiber optic development was a Ghanaian gentleman who most of our children don't know anything about. So for us, it's really about connecting those who've gone before them who are of African descent, both in Africa and off the continent of Africa. So through this particular part of the program, we're actually spotlighting on those hidden figures, bringing that reality to them of what they're capable of, how they can become these hidden figures. And we're praying they won't be that hidden. They'll be leading industries ultimately, right? So that's important to us. So um so those hidden
Yes.
figures, I'm sorry, Miss Sally, I hear a
No,
reverb. I can hear you bouncing back to me.
I'm just nodding in appreciation.
Okay. Thank you. Technology still, again, to improve this kind of technology really is opportunity as well for our children. So resources and benefits. Would you like me to speak about the resources and the benefit, Miss Sally?
Yes, please, Miss Paula, you can educate people on what we have, what we're
So one of
exploring.
Yes. So the advantages of enrolling your child in this program is the fact that we provide the resources necessary for this work, for their learning, right? The materials that are provided receives all the children receive all necessary resources for courses, including electronics, robots, laptops, and tech for learners, right? Competitions and awards. This is really the part for every human being, but most especially for children to celebrate their accomplishments, right? So they get to present their projects at Botswana's STEM Week, and they get to compete for awards and receive certificates for outstanding innovation. So we celebrate their accomplishments and their achievements. And that's the socio-emotional part of it that means so much to children. The other thing is, I'm sorry, Miss Sally, do you have a question?
No, I was just adding kids love winning. I think we all do.
And they get to network with other children. They get to learn and they get to present. And it's so good for the children's self-esteem. So the enrollment information, if I may, you can contact Miss Sally DI Africa, diafrica.org, www.diafrica.org for more information. Secure your child's spot today and watch them become the innovators of tomorrow. And I would add the potential leaders of tomorrow, if I may. So I'm excited about this program. Please, just being able to have access to this program is really huge right there on the continent. So please get your children enrolled and let us know how we can continue to improve this program so that we can continue to develop our children in a holistic and healthy way. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Nicola. I'm yet to find out where my echo is coming from.
Yeah, and I apologize, the signal, and it may be me because it's starting to rain and thunder here, so it may be my signal going in and out. So I apologize to the audience if there were things they couldn't hear, but I'm hoping they can see the screen properly and that they really consider not just their children, but their grandchildren, registering them for this program.
Yes. So, Ms. Paula, I sorted this echo. Would you be available to join us again and explain further, much more on the why integrate meditation with our African culture tomorrow, same time?
I'm certainly going to try. All things being equal, this technology still has its downside. So we still need some STEAM geniuses to be unleashed so we can fix these kinds of problems. But yes, I can most certainly attempt. I love this. I'm such a supporter of this program. And this is the reason why we designed it. And the whole idea is for us to spread it as much as we can all over sub-Saharan Africa.
Thank you very much, Ms. Paula. Thank you to our listeners. Thank you for your comments, your likes, and see you tomorrow, same time. Goodbye.
Thank you.